Still snowing outside? That's a serious question. I haven't looked outside for a while. Let us know. 208-424-9300. And welcome back. A senior edition of Idaho Sports Talk. And I'm talking about Max Rice and his four teammates who will celebrate senior night tonight, Extra Mile Arena, 9 o'clock tip, super late against a really good Nevada team, too. You can check out Bob Beeler and Abe Jackson on the call. 8:30 pregame tip-off. All right, Prater. Number one, I wish we had fireworks in the studio. I wish maybe we even had like a drum roll sound effect, even though everybody knows who our number one is. There is no suspense. Michael Forrest Prater from 15, now down to 1. The most important player on this Boise State football team entering spring ball, Ashton Jeanty.
And I would imagine when we do this series again after spring ball, he's still going to be number one. I suppose maybe if Malachi Nelson sets the world on fire and is named the starting quarterback, which I don't expect either one of those things to happen, he can move into number one. But Ashton Jeanty is clearly the most important player on this football team, not only from a talent perspective, from a leadership perspective, from a morale perspective, even the community, but even from a depth chart perspective. You know, there's a couple of decent running backs behind him, but the gap between Ashton Jeanty and everybody else is so different because he's so damn special, and that's what makes him so important. So go ahead and save the fireworks. We're going to get plenty of those in the fall. Today we'll just kind of talk about him and what he has to do this spring and what his role was going to be this spring. It's not going to be the most important role in spring ball. I think it's going to be a very pedestrian role for Ashton Jeanty this spring, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm sitting here trying to think, okay, I mean, with all these other players, all due respect, who made this list, it was like, okay, there's certain things we wanted them to get out of spring. On-field stuff, on-field development, improvement. Ashton Jeanty, he needs to improve in all those areas too. I think he will, but you have to go about it a little bit differently, I think, if you're this coaching staff. You're not going to, you have to pick and choose your spots now with Ashton Jeanty. That's how valuable he is to this program, Prater. For me, I want Ashton Jeanty. I don't know if he's a vocal leader or not. I know he's very popular just from seeing him in the building or at basketball games, teammates. It feels like he's got a lot of good buddies on this team. I need Ashton Jeanty to set the entire tone for the program, and it starts in spring. First time you're putting helmets on, first time you're running out together, first time the pads are popping a little bit. Really the first time where a team can look at each other and the coaches are there and everybody's either in the indoor or even on the blue, and they can say, this is our football team. I want Ashton Jeanty to set the entire tone for the program. They're looking at him. They're following him. They're expecting greatness. Everybody expects greatness with Ashton Jeanty. Can he inspire? Can he motivate? If he leads, they will follow. So that for me, Prater, if I was confident that Ashton was going to check those boxes for me, I don't need to see him suited up or playing, certainly in the spring game, all that much to begin with in spring ball. That's kind of where I went with this.
You're not wrong, but that stuff's been happening for 2 months. That stuff started happening in the first week of January. Ashton Jeanty was asked to be a leader in the first 10 days of January when they were out there at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing weightlifting. And this is where teammates bond. This is where trends and habits are started, not in spring ball. If you're trying to start a trend or try to be a leader today or next week, you're about 2 months late and way behind the 8 ball. And Ashton Jeanty, by all accounts, is that kind of a teammate at Boise State. But again, that's been going on for 2 months. Every single rep in the weight room, I don't think they're running stairs yet. Maybe they were. That'd be brutal. If they're out there running stairs, every single step of the stairs and all the stuff that they've been doing in terms of conditioning and leadership and all that kind of stuff. So I think that is already firmly established. I don't think nobody questions Ashton Jeanty on and off the football field in terms of how he's conducting himself. So the leadership is there. Now it's just a matter of going out and being selfish and taking care of you. Continue to be a leader, but you have to take care of you. You have to be selfish. You have to take care of your body. You have to make sure you're smart with what you do with the reps you have in spring ball. Take care of yourself. I kind of disagree with you. It's time for him to be selfish for the next 2 months.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that as well. We want this. Bronco Nation, everybody involved wants this to be one of the great seasons, certainly in BSU history. You want that every year. But I think they're going to want Ashton Jeanty individually to have one of the great seasons in Boise State history, and how the spring can help him get there. Maybe it is being a little more selfish, doing a little bit more, because I have never heard anything about, oh, selfish Ashton Jeanty, this or that, right? Ashton wants more touches. He doesn't want, never.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. When it's selfish, I'm talking about taking care of himself, taking care of his body, and making sure he's smart and in the limited reps that he gets. It's not about begging for more. That's not what I mean, selfish. I'm just trying. If you are literally the most important player on this football team out of 110 players, you need to be selfish and take care of you to make sure that you are there. You need to make sure you're eating and drinking and sleeping and doing all the right things and not goofing around. And I'm not suggesting he does. I'm not suggesting he does that at all. I'm just saying that he needs to take an extra step of responsibility to take care of himself this spring so he can unleash the beast in the fall.
And just thinking about too what he's going to do, what he's preparing for spring ball, what ultimately this will lead him to, an All-American, all-conference, whatever season in Boise State, having a chance to get to that CFP 12. I think we would all agree, if Ashton Jeanty isn't what we're talking about now, or isn't healthy enough, or doesn't have the season we're hoping, it's probably going to be hard for Boise State to threaten that CFP as much as you would think. If Ashton Jeanty is rolling, if he's the best back in America this year, or close to it, and I think he probably is, who knows? Maybe they can go into Autzen if they get everything out of this kid, and they can still hang with the Ducks, even though most people would probably think they wouldn't. And I still think they will lose that game. I still think there's going to be 1, 2, or 3 losses on this team this season, sure. But Ashton Jeanty, I've said think he's the best player here, Prater, since Leighton Vander Esch, an individual player that they've had on the roster in terms of maybe what the NFL wants to see. Think about this, Prater. When he was a true freshman, he had the highest Pro Football Focus rating in the country for all true freshman backs. Okay, not a lot of true freshmen play. Ashton Jeanty was number 1 in America. Last year, as a sophomore, he was number 1 in America, according to the Pro Football Focus grade, counting every running back in college football. He was number 1, the only running back with a 90-plus grade over in rushing and receiving. So if you're saying, well, what's next? Over the last 2 years, according to the data that Pro Football Focus uses, and they put everything in there, he has the highest combined grade of any running back in America over the last 2 years. So, the expectations, I don't even know if you can put a ceiling on them there. How does he get any better than that, Prater? And how does he use spring ball to do it?
Yeah, you just fine-tune your craft and working within the scheme and working within the system and getting on the same page with your new quarterback and your new offensive coordinator and part of your new line, getting in sync, getting in rhythm, again, taking care of yourself and making sure you come out of spring ball 100% healthy. So I'm sure that they've had all those kinds of meetings, talked about all that. And, everything about spring ball is scripted. And I would imagine his role is going to be scripted as well, and everything's going to be taken care of. So, I think that it definitely starts next week. His season definitely starts next week or continues next week after off-season conditioning, and the expectations are going to be off the charts, massive off the charts.
Was the snowplow in some action today, man? I bet it was.
I would imagine it was, yeah.
The Ashton Jeanty snowplow
it wasn't that much
work.
There wasn't that much snow out there, but I would imagine early this morning they would have had to touched a few streets up and taken care of a little business.
Yeah, can Ashton Jeanty, and I think I have the answer. But can he only, if everything works this year, Prater, can it be Kellen Moore and Ashton Jeanty?
What does that mean?
Like when you're, just means just Kellen Moore is Kellen Moore. Can Ashton Jeanty live in his neighborhood, so to speak, regarding Boise State football legends? Is that within reach?
Sure.
I think it is, man.
Sure.
I think if he has that year, Prater, if they go to the playoff, if they ride Jeanty the whole way in America, I don't know, falls in love with him. I don't know if that's, and there's a lot of college football fans out there who follow power football, power conference football, and they don't know much about Ashton Jeanty, even though the numbers, PFF suggests that he's the most complete back in America. I saw another crazy stat, Prater. Ashton Jeanty led the nation last year in missed tackles after a reception. Think about that. You toss Ashton Jeanty the football, and he's got a hell of a chance to make that first guy miss. And if you make that first guy miss, usually, Prater, there's a lot of pasture in front of you, man. And just, that's my favorite part about all this with Jeanty. You know me. I'm going to be bummed on the spring game. I'm going to be elbowing you in the up in the Paul J. Schneider press box saying, dang, can't they just give Jeanty the ball a couple more times? But I don't think they will. I just can't wait to watch this kid play football again.
Yeah, I'm willing to wait until August, September, October. So I don't need to see him in the spring. You can get all excited about the spring ball. I'll wait till, I don't even care if he gets, if Spencer Danielson said for whatever reason, Ashton Jeanty's not going to play in spring ball, I got no problem.
I wouldn't have a problem either. If he doesn't dress, I wouldn't have a problem. If he wants to wear his sweatpants and put on a headset and become a coach, or just be Ashton Jeanty, it doesn't bother me at all. What are your thoughts? 208-424-9300 on the Cloverdale Plumbing text line. Maybe we'll put that list together. 15 all the way down to 1. Ashton Jeanty. I think Bronco Nation is so excited, Prater, for another year of watching this kid run the ball and play football. Super, super special. 208-424-9300. Again, your thoughts on Ashton Jeanty. Senior night, late, cold, whatever. 10,000 people the night, Prater. Is that a pipe dream? Attendance? Can you get 10 in there?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably not, but close enough to matter.
No school for West Ada County tomorrow. Did I hear that right? No school in West Ada? Some kids are staying up. You can keep some kids up late.
I don't know. You better verify that, because some kids might not show up tomorrow and they'll be in trouble.
Oh, they're going to blame me on that.
Yeah, you don't want to throw that kind of stuff out there. I had not heard that. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a snowstorm tomorrow, but if you say so, sure. Everybody, Johnny says everybody can take a day off from school tomorrow.
No, look at the Leon Rice permission slip. You can vote to Leon. I thought I heard BJ saying that on BNN today, that no school West Ada. I probably should have looked that one up first. JP, you got a sports book, a heck of a sports book with some prop bets that I think might even perk Michael Prater up a little bit. You ready for this, JP?
Let's do it.
All right, Prater on the ball game. KTIK, the ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.